and welcome back to my channel. In this video I am going to show you how I made this Ninja Hoodie. I've been seeing them all over TikTok and I've been wanting one. To get my main body pattern and sleeve pattern, I used a sweatshirt that I actually had in my closet that I like the fit of. The hood for the sweatshirt is actually going to be made into 4 different pieces. 2 side pieces, 1 piece that goes down the center of the head, and then a front. And the center piece is just to make sure that the hood is big and baggy. And the piece that I use for the center of the hood will also be cut out again for the front to finish off that edge. For the face covering or the collar, I created this trapezoid piece, and it is smaller on top with a little bit of a curve to it and bigger on the bottom. And this collar piece, I did cut out 2 of them that were on the fold. And the sleeve pattern is just a basic sleeve pattern that I got from my sweatshirt. And this is my pattern for the hood. I do wish I made it taller though, but it still works out in the end. And of course, pockets make everything, so I just traced a basic pocket pattern with my hand to make sure everything was going to be big enough. The original design is a front pocket on the belly, but I did not like that, so I chose side pockets. To finish off the cuffs of the sleeves and the waistband of the sweater, I actually bought this navy blue ribbing to finish those off. And the ribbing is a little bit wide, so I do cut it in half. Putting this together was fairly simple. I started with the collar pieces, and taking my 2 pieces, I go ahead and line those up and sew them on just the top. And since this is fleece material and is stretchy, I do use a stretch stitch on all this. With the top sewn, I go ahead and clip off my seam allowance. I will unfold it and I will match up the side seams or the back seam and sew that up. And then folding that right sides out so it actually encases the raw edges inside. And to make sure everything stays in place, I do go ahead and top stitch the top part of the collar. With that, the collar is done and I set that aside. For the hood, I take my front two pieces, I sew that up on the short side, and then I will fold this in half. This will create my finished edge on my hood. For the main hood part, I take my center piece and I will line those up with the side pieces. And then I will go ahead and sew those two seams up. And to finish off the hood, I take that front piece, fold it in half, and then I will go ahead and sew it to the front of the hood. And since I have a serger, I do serge all my edges. And the hood is done. And then I take the neck collar piece and the hood and I will attach those at the neckline so they act as one piece. The hood is a little bit on the bigger side than what the collar is, so I do make some darts in the back of the hood to make everything match. And for the front of the hood, I do overlap it in the middle of the collar piece. For the main body of the sweatshirt, I go ahead and take my front piece and my back piece, and I will stitch along the shoulder seams, leaving the side seams open. At this point, my front and back piece are exactly the same on the collar. Later on, I do cut the front of the neckline down so my head will fit through the opening. With the shoulder seams sewn, I go ahead and attach the sleeves. With the shoulders and the sleeves sewn on, I go ahead and attach the hood collar to the neckline. I go ahead and match up the side seams, and then I will attach the pockets, and it's just a basic pocket. With those on, I go ahead and sew up the side seams. I start with the wrist seam and go all the way down, pivot at the armpit, and go all the way down to the waist. To finish off the sleeves and the waistband, I go ahead and take my ribbing that I have and I sew it on. For the wrist ones, I have to actually sew those two pieces together to make a loop. And the ribbing for the wrist and the waist are smaller than the actual size of the waist on the fleece. As I am sewing this, I am pulling on the ribbing to stretch it out a little bit so that way it matches the circumference of the waistband and the sleeves. And with that, I got my Ninja sweater. It's really comfy and warm, which I don't need down here in Texas, but I like comforting things. With my pattern though, I could have made it a little shorter since it is quite long, but it will be fine. And of course, if I made myself one, I have to make my little mini-me one too. And she chose hot pink fleece with some kitty cats. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, please like, subscribe, and share, and I'll see you next time. Bye.